In a world where political figures are judged by power, policies, and presence, certain details often go unnoticed. Yet, for those who observe closely, the smallest elements of a leader's appearance can reveal volumes. One such detail surrounds the young, fierce, and revolutionary leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré, and his signature hand gloves. For many, the gloves are merely a fashion statement or a shield against the elements. But for Traoré, they are far more than that. They are a symbol of protection, memory, solidarity, and unshakable purpose. Behind those black gloves lies a tale of history, personal loss, humility, and the sacred duty he carries for his people. Long before he became the face of resistance against neo-colonialism, long before the military fatigues and international headlines, Ibrahim Traoré was a humble village boy. Born in the dusty lands of Bondakwi, a commune in western Burkina Faso, Ibrahim grew up in a world where survival was earned, not granted. His father was a primary school teacher, known for his wisdom and quiet resolve. His mother, a farmer and trader, often walked miles under the harsh sun to sell produce in nearby markets. Ibrahim was the last of 4 children, and though small in stature, he had eyes that questioned everything. His childhood was a mix of barefoot runs through the dry savanna, afternoons spent under mango trees listening to elders, and cold harmattan mornings helping his mother till the hardened earth. But one incident would mark him forever. When Ibrahim was just 12, a bushfire broke out near their village. Fires weren't uncommon in dry season, but this one was different. The wind was fierce, the flames angry, and the villagers were ill-equipped. His elder brother, Yakuba, just 17, joined others to battle the fire with buckets and branches. Ibrahim followed without permission. Armed with a tattered scarf around his face and a wooden stick, he joined the frantic fight. At one point, a wall of flame curved sharply and trapped a group of children who had wandered into the wrong path. Yakuba dashed in. Ibrahim screamed for him not to go, but Yakuba had already vanished into the smoke. By the time they pulled the children out, Yakuba had saved 3, but suffered severe burns to his arms and hands. He lived, but barely. His hands never functioned the same again. For months, Ibrahim sat beside his brother's bed, watching him grimace as the burns peeled and healed. "Hands are sacred," Yakuba told him one day, his voice a hoarse whisper. "They build, they protect, they serve. You must always honor them." It was the first time Ibrahim thought of hands as more than just tools. Ibrahim went on to excel in school, eventually earning a place at the University of Ouagadougou to study geology. But the words of Yakuba lingered. He joined campus groups focused on Pan-African thought, where the ideals of Thomas Sankara and Kwame Nkrumah were gospel. Hands again became symbolic of struggle, unity, and action. After university, he joined the army, not because he loved war, but because he believed the only way to protect the soul of his nation was to guard it physically. He quickly rose through the ranks, known for his discipline, strategic mind, and sense of justice. During one mission in the northern region, Ibrahim's battalion encountered an ambush by insurgents. Amid the crossfire, he shielded a young soldier from a grenade blast. The explosion bruised his left hand severely. Though he recovered, he began wearing gloves, originally as a bandage cover and protection. But something in him shifted. Wearing gloves became a personal ritual. Every time he slipped his hands into them, it reminded him of Yakuba's sacrifice, of the fire, of the value of hands. His gloves became sacred, a symbol of duty, not style. When he eventually led a revolution to depose the corrupt government of Burkina Faso in 2022, the image of Traoré wearing black gloves on the day of announcement spread like wildfire. Speculation began. Was it for military discipline? Was he hiding something? Was it superstition? None of those were true. The gloves were his armor, not just against physical enemies, but against ego, corruption, and forgetfulness. They reminded him that leadership is service, that every handshake carries weight, that his hands belong to the people now. Unlike many leaders who fall in love with power, Traoré saw power as a burden. Real power, he once said, is not about being followed, it's about being remembered for what you protected. In a televised interview, a journalist asked him, "Why do you always wear gloves, even indoors?" Traoré smiled, touched his heart, and said, "Because I must never forget why I fight." He went on to share a story about a mother in Djibo who lost her 3 sons to terrorism. "She gave me a scarf and held my hands for a long time. She cried not because she lost them, but because she feared she would lose the country too." The gloves became a way to preserve every pain, every promise, every burden he carried. Soon, the youth of Burkina Faso began wearing gloves during protests and national celebrations. Not out of mimicry, but out of solidarity, gloves became the fabric of resistance. Graffiti on walls read, "These hands build the nation." School children in villages began drawing hands in their notebooks, labeling them, "For my country." Mothers began buying gloves for their sons joining the civil service. The symbolism grew, not of violence, but of service, of sacrifice. In this, Traoré had done something extraordinary. He had made a piece of clothing more than fashion. He had turned it into a national philosophy. In a secretive meeting with West African leaders, one dignitary mocked the gloves, saying, "Perhaps your hands are too soft for leadership." Traoré didn't flinch. He responded calmly, "I don't lead with fists. I lead with a heart wrapped in purpose. These gloves are not to cover weakness, but to remind me that these hands are no longer mine. They belong to every child, every farmer, every soldier in Burkina Faso." The room fell silent. In early 2024, Yakuba passed away from complications related to his old injuries. At the burial, attended by villagers and soldiers alike, Traoré removed his gloves for the first time in public. He placed them gently atop his brother's coffin, then saluted. Tears welled in the eyes of many. For them, it was not just a farewell, it was the passing of a legacy. That evening, he wore a new pair of gloves. This time, embroidered inside the wrist was a single word, Yakuba. International media eventually caught on to the symbolism. Documentaries were made, headlines crafted. But for Traoré, the reason remained deeply personal. The gloves reminded him that the revolution is not over, that corruption hides in every corner, that the people's cries are louder than applause, that his hands must remain clean, not just physically, but morally. In the end, Ibrahim Traoré's gloves are more than fabric. They are memory. They are mourning. They are mission. They tell the story of a boy who once ran through burning fields, a brother who saved lives, a soldier who bled, a leader who carries a nation on his palms. And every time he lifts those gloved hands, whether to greet, to salute, or to serve, he is saying, without words, "I remember, I protect, I serve." So, the next time you see him on your screen, remember, those gloves are not just gloves. They are Burkina Faso itself, scarred, brave, healing, and always ready to fight for what is right. Thank you for taking the time to explore the powerful and emotional story behind why Captain Ibrahim Traoré wears gloves, a symbol of sacrifice, service, and unwavering commitment to the people of Burkina Faso. His journey reminds us that even the smallest details can carry the greatest meaning. If this story touched you, inspired you, or gave you a new perspective, kindly show your support by subscribing, liking, sharing, and leaving a comment below. Your engagement helps spread stories that matter. Stories that honor real heroes and awaken consciousness. Let's keep the flame of truth and patriotism burning together.